In a previous video, we discussed the importance of the PROC frequency statement, or PROC freq. And in this video, I'd like to also discuss an incredibly important statement which can also be utilized, which is similar to that of PROC freq, and that is the PROC tabulate. Now, PROC tabulate, again, is incredibly similar to the PROC frequency statement. However, PROC tabulate allows us to not only do just counts, but also means, sums, and other statistics in a single table. Whereas with PROC freq, we're more so limited to just sums and frequency. So I've gone ahead and loaded a data frame into our work library, and that sample data frame is named SetA. So let's take a look at this SetA, and we'll be applying some of the PROC tabulate statement code to this data, and we'll see what the output is in each instance. And hopefully this will allow you to hopefully gain some mastery of the subject matter so you can also apply it for your data science needs. So as you can see, our data frame SetA within the work library contains 4 variables, those being var_a, var_b, var_c, and var_d. And var_a, c, and d are all character type variables, whereas var_b is a numeric type variable. Now, this will be important as we walk through our code. So let's take a look at our first bit of code down here. So I've gone ahead and put a title that will be displayed atop of our data output. So when we're done having our table tabulated, we'll have PROC tabulate demonstration displayed above it. Now, you don't necessarily need to use this step. You can use it if you think that it would be useful for your display needs. But for the sake of this exercise, I've chosen to utilize a title. Next, we're going to use PROC tabulate, our data step. We're referring to SetA. So here is SetA in our work library. And then we're going to be using a where statement. Now, again, this is also optional. I'm saying where var_c equals red. So we're only interested in row observations which contain a observation for var_c which is equal to red. So there's one here, there's one here, there's one here, and we're only going to be concerned, as far as this code is concerned, with observations in which variable var_c contains observations which are equal to red. And this is in single quotations because, again, this is a character type variable. The class statement is indicating that we're interested in summarizing our variables by the category contained within var_d. So we're interested in sorting our variables in the tabulation by categories contained within var_d. So as you can see, we have 4 categories within var_d. Those are spade, club, diamond, and heart. And that's what the class statement is indicating. var_b here is indicating that var_b is our numerical variable, which we're interested in. Here, table, we're using, again, the same variable which we utilized for our class statement, which is var_d, which is our categorical variable. All is indicating that we want to display at the bottom row of what will eventually be our PROC tabulate output, we want to have a total number of categorical observations summed, as well as a total mean figure across categories. And then finally, down here, and there's no semicolon here, there's just a comma, and then var_b asterisk, open paren, n, which is indicating that we're interested in the frequency count, and mean, meaning that we're interested in the mean of the numeric observations as it pertains to the categorical designation. Semicolon, run, semicolon, and now let's run this entire code in its entirety and take a look at the output. So if we were to run this code here, our output would resemble this top table here. And this is giving us everything that we've asked for. Let me get this code. Let me move the code window above it, the code console. Here is our title, PROC Tabulate Demonstration. There it is. We're only interested in instances where var C equals red. So only where var C equals red are our categories being tabulated. var D is our categorical variable. So here's our categories: club, diamond, heart, and spade. var B is our numeric variable. So these are the corresponding our corresponding count, mean, sum, and mean across categories of var B. All is indicating to SAS that we would like to have this final row here, which provides us with a total sum and a mean across categories. And var B asterisk and mean is telling us that we want the count of occurrence within each category and the mean within each category. So if we were to break this down, because the code has already done all the heavy lifting for us, but we wanted to see what was going on inside, this is a little image I've created, which hopefully provides a better summary. So let's take a look at that over here. So as you can see, when we applied the where statement, we were only concerned with instances in which var C was red. So as you can see, we have red here, 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 and so on and so forth. Any instance in which var C is another color, that's not included within our tabulation. So there's 8 total observations, so we can count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Those are our total number of observations that we're working with. Because again, we're only interested in where var C equals red. All right? And we're counting the number of observations for club, diamond, heart, and spade as it pertains to var B. All right? So here is a club here, and here is a club here, and there were 2 occurrences of var B. So var B, 1, 2. Diamond. Where's diamond at? Here's diamond. 1. All right, number of occurrences of var B as it pertains to var D. And then here is the mean. So I've done, to make this a bit easier, I looked at club specifically. So as you can see, club for var B has the number 2 and then the number 2. So if we're interested in the mean of var B observations for club, that's 2 for var B plus 2 for var B. Again, we're only looking at clubs, okay? Only clubs, 2 plus 2, and there's 2 occurrences, as you can see. So 2 plus 2 divided by 2 is 2. All right? If one of these were 2 and the other were 3, it would still be n is 2, but then we would have to do 2 plus 3 divided by 2, in which case that's 5 divided by 2. And if that were the case, our mean value for club would be 2.5. All right. So as you can see, if you sum these n values together, 2 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 is the total sum of 8. Now, if that's relatively easy to sum. However, if we're interested in the mean across variables as it pertains to variable B, this is how that is calculated. All right, so we have, in this instance, the sum of all the values across categories. So 1 plus 1, so it's down here. You can also look at it, but it's 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1 plus 1. And there's a total of 8 observations. So 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1 plus 1 divided by 8, which means the mean across categories is 1.25. So if you're interested then in seeing what the mean of each category is as it relates to the mean across categories, you can make that determination and then analyze your findings. But you should also keep in mind how many observations are within each category from which the mean is derived. So obviously a higher number for a particular category, say that this is like 15 versus like 4, that might mean, no pun intended, that the figure of this mean, if this value were significantly higher, that this mean value would be more robust. And from such, you could draw a greater statistical inference. Now, I've also run some PROC tabulate example code that is a bit different from our first bit of code. This is the output from our second demonstration, our results. In this case, again, we're only interested in set A. So we're putting a title, PROC Tabulate Demonstration 2. Title is completely optional. We're running our data step as it pertains to set A. So that's the set we're interested in. In this case, we're not utilizing the where statement. We're interested in this case, we just want to see all of the category of VARD, and VARD hasn't changed at all. We look at our VARD is still spade, club, diamond, heart, but in this case, nothing is going to be highlighted. We're not just interested in red, we're interested in blue, green, gray, orange, pink, red, yellow. We're interested in the entirety of the data frame, not just instances in which var c equals red. And the difference here is here we're looking at var c equals red. We're running a where statement. Here we're not running a where statement. This is where the where statement would be. We're not running one, which means that we're interested in all of the variables and all of the observations contained within the data frame. All right. So as you can see, we have all of the observations across categories, not just where var C equals red, which limited it in the prior tabulation. We're still interested in var D as our categories. Here they are. Var B is again our numeric variable that we're analyzing. We're using all because we want to have this row here where we're summing across categories and then we're taking a mean across categories. And right here, this is indicating to us, or indicating to SAS for that matter, that var B is our numeric variable, and we want a number of occurrence across categories. So how many times a value for var B was in a particular category, and what the mean was. So in this case, there were 7 entries for VARB, 7 numbers as it pertains to the club category. And the mean of those numbers, when summed together and divided by 7, was 1.71. And for spade, there were 8 numbers in VARB for spade. And when we summed all those numbers together and divided by 8, we got 1.13. And the mean across categories, if we were to add up all the numbers, so all 7 numbers for, let me get the, trying to get the, there, let me get this back over here. If we were to sum up all the numbers for var B, all the numerical values, there would be 29 total values. All right, and you can see that 2 to 30, those are all our numeric values. If we were to sum all of those up, we would get 29 total values. And we sum them, we get the sum, and then we divide by 29, we get a total mean across categories of 1.52. So in this case, this is below the mean across categories, and these other figures are above. And again, you can then draw statistical inference if that is something that you'd be interested in as it pertains to your research, or if you think would be appropriate given your analysis of the output. In this particular bit of code here, it looks like we are interested, instead of looking at var D as our categorical breakdown, we're looking at instead of var A. So in this case, we're using var A as our categorical variable, but we're still interested in var B as our numeric variable. And that bit of data is here. So as you can see, we're not using a where statement, just like we weren't in the prior bit of code. But here, instead of looking at var or utilizing var D as our categorical variable, we're using var A as our categorical variable. And that's here and here. So we're looking at categories of name versus, I suppose, categories of suit. So we're interested in var A. That's going to act as our categorical designation as opposed to var C. And here is that breakdown. We're still interested in the number of occurrence in each variable. So there were 2 var B entries for Troy. There were 3 for Susan, 3 for Seth. When we sum these together, we get 29. And here's the mean of each. And here is the mean across categories. So I just wanted to show that you can change the category in which you're designating if you're so choose. And finally, for this bit of data here, we're still working with var A as our categorical designation. There it is. Here they are. And var B is going to remain our numeric variable. We still are interested in having sums across category. And in this instance, though, however, we're interested in occurrence of var B across categories, but instead of mean, as it was in every other example tabulation that we've performed, instead now we're interested in the median value. So what was the median value of B across all categories, and what was the median value of B as it relates to each subcategory? So that is the power of PROC Tabulate. It allows you a greater flexibility as it pertains to how you're going to summarize data and how to present data. So I hope that you found this particular lecture to be helpful. Feel free to like and subscribe, and thank you for spending time with me as we went through with this. I hope you have a great rest of the day. Take care.